Today we are going to be doing a little birth and delivery story time. Because I gotta tell y'all, it was so crazy and I hope I never experience it again. Thank you. I have a little sandwich here, so we're gonna go ahead and do a little mukbang moment. But okay, so the day started, it was a Tuesday, I think. Remember, it was the 8th. And I actually had a appointment that day with my OBGYN. I had it at like 8 in the morning, I think. And so I went and I had told her that I had been a centimeter dilated. So I had been a centimeter dilated since the 1st of February, maybe. I stayed a centimeter dilated, and then I had my appointment that day, and she was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and check you and see if you've dilated anymore. So she checks me, whatever. Still at a centimeter. She's like, but your cervix looks pretty softened. How do you feel? Like, do you want to wait it out, or do you want me to? She's like, I can strip your membrane. That should push you into labor a little bit faster. She was like, maybe by, she said tonight or maybe the next day. And I was like, I really wanted to meet something, guys. So I was like, yes, let's do it. Like, I'm ready. And I just overall just wanted to be done with being pregnant. Yes, let's do it. So she stripped my membrane, and that hurt really, really bad. It was fine. I came home. Mind you, that was at 8 in the morning. So I came home, wasn't really feeling that great. I had like a headache, and I had been having contractions, but they were very small. So I was just laying in bed all day watching TV. I had something to eat, and then I took a nap. I woke up from my nap like at 3. And I was having not really bad, but I was having more painful contractions. And they were pretty far apart still. They were probably like around 10 minutes apart. So I was just trying to deal with those. I was just laying in bed. Anyways, it's Tuesday, February 7th, 5 p.m. I'm having some contractions. I feel like I can feel myself maybe starting to go into labor. I'm just trying to stay as comfortable as possible. I had an appointment this morning. They checked my cervix and I was 3 centimeters dilated. They did also strip my membranes, so that's probably why I'm feeling such aggressive contractions. I really have the biggest headache ever. So I'm just trying to like stay calm and stay in good spirits. For now, the pain is there, but it's bearable. Hopefully he comes by tonight, maybe like 10 p.m. Not like comes, like already here, but like at least I'm in the hospital, I'm more dilated, I have epidural, I'm feeling good, I'm ready to have the baby, you know.
You wish that was you, huh?
And then by the time like around 5 came, they started getting much worse. They were still bearable, but they were coming more frequently. And they were around 5 minutes apart. I haven't even took a bite of my sandwich, girl. So, my mom had called me too to check on me, and she was like, how are you doing, Mija? How are you feeling? And I had told her that I was getting them stronger and more closer together, whatever. She's like, well, I think you should come stay the night with me because I have a feeling that... she was like, I have a feeling that we're gonna have to go to the hospital tonight. And she's like, I don't want you to be alone. So I was like, okay, well, let me just shower really quick and then I'll get my bags ready, whatever, and I'll be on my way. Right? So then I hop in the shower, and I was just taking like a quick body shower just so that way like my body can be clean, you know, if I did end up going to the hospital that night. So I get in the shower, and then when I get out, girl, the shower felt so good. When I got out, the contractions were getting to the point where like I couldn't really take them anymore. So I was like, okay, no, like he's coming soon. Like we should probably just go to the hospital. So then I call my mom and I tell her like we should just go right now because like they're really, really close together and they're getting stronger, and I just feel like I'm going into labor, like I'm starting to go into labor. So she's like, okay, we'll be right there. So I get my bags ready and stuff. I try to like put some skincare on. I even made like a little TikTok, which I wasn't supposed to post until I actually gave birth to something, but I posted it. I meant to hit drafts and it posted on my TikTok. So then like, and when I had went to the hospital, I didn't have no service, so I couldn't, when I was checking to see if it did post, it wasn't showing up, but it's because I didn't have no service, so it wasn't refreshing. Yeah. So my mom comes to get me, whatever. We go to the hospital. We check in and everything. And the nurse checked me to see how far along I had been dilated. I was only 3 centimeters, guys. 3 centimeters. I kid you not, the contractions that I was having were literally, felt like I was at a 5. Like, they were like bearable, but I was still uncomfortable, and they were coming so close together. Like, I literally had no breaks. Like, they would come every 5 minutes. I'm not even kidding. For like hours. Also, when I got there, it was so weird. I sat in the bed and I literally like almost fainted. Like, the nurse was asking me questions, starting to put like this stuff on me so she can check my like blood pressure and stuff. And she was asking me questions, and like my ears started like ringing, and then my vision started like going blurry, and I was like dizzy. And I was like answering her slow. And then my mom was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I feel like I'm gonna faint. Like, I'm dizzy." And so then they gave me like water and apple juice, and they made me drink like 2 bottles of water. Yeah, I think they just said that I was like dehydrated or something. So that happened. Then she's like, "Okay, so since you're only 3 centimeters dilated," she's like, "for us to admit you, you need to be at 5. She's like, "So we're gonna leave you here for an hour, see if you progress any." She's like, "Because your contractions are coming really close together, so maybe you'll get there within that hour." So I was like, okay. And my mom were there for an hour, and we were just like talking, trying to make, and it's like, it's not the room that you're actually going to give birth in yet. It's like a little space. They have a curtain, and there's literally people like in the room with you, like different patients. I didn't have service. I wasn't able to be on TikTok or anything like Instagram. I wasn't able to distract my mind. I was literally just like trying to get through it, and I was literally thinking in my head like, okay, once I get to 5, I'm gonna be okay, because I can get the epidural, and then after that it's like all good, right? Because that's how it went with Mateo. Mateo's labor and delivery was so smooth. Like, oh my god, I'm so grateful and thankful that I experienced that. And that's how I was expecting this one to go. Well, I was hoping that it would go that way. Hour passes, right? And I'm like, by this time, girl, I'm like, oh my god, like there's no way, I'm barely at 3. Like, I have to be at 5 when she comes to check me, right? She comes to check me, girl, after an hour, and I had only dilated half a centimeter. I was only at 3.5. I was like, oh my god, there's no way that these contractions are this painful at only 3.5 centimeters dilated. It was like, we're gonna leave you here a little bit longer. She's like, because we don't want you to leave and then have to come back. So she leaves me there a little bit longer. I'm like getting up to use the restroom. She comes back probably like an hour and a half later, maybe an hour to 2 hours later. And girl, by this point, I'm like dying. Like, I'm literally, I had been having contractions since 3 in the afternoon. I mean, granted, they started off like slowly, and then they went like to more painful, but I had been having contractions since 3 p.m. It was already probably like 8 by this time. And I'm just exhausted at this point. Like, I'm just tired, and I'm just annoyed, because I'm like, there's no way that I'm going this slow, you know what I mean? And it was just so painful. I was like, why is it so painful if I'm only 3.5, So she comes to check me, and I'm just praying to God that I'm already at 5 centimeters. I'm like, please God, please, 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 please. So she comes to check me, and yes, I'm at 5 centimeters. So she's like, okay, let's go get you a room. Let's get you started. Like, let's do this. Like, can I please have the epidural, like, right away? She's like, yes, as soon as you get in there, we'll have the anesthesiologist come and, you know, we'll do all that. We get into my room, and she's like, but first we have to draw your blood. So I'm like, okay. So then they're drawing my blood, and that took like about 30 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm having the worst contractions ever, girl. Like, I'm literally almost crying. Like, they hurt so bad, and I was getting them so frequently that I was just like, oh my god, please, like, when is this gonna be over, you know? And the anesthesiologist comes in, and they have to read you like your rights and stuff and let you know information before they actually start giving you the epidural. So we're going over that probably takes like about 20 to 25 minutes, and meanwhile I'm just like in pain, and every time that I had a contraction, he like stopped so that way I could like get through it, and then he would carry on. So I feel like that's why it also took like a little bit longer. We're finally ready, and he's about to give me the epidural. I'm super scared because these contractions were so strong that I couldn't control my body. Like, I couldn't keep my body still. And for those of you that know, you have to be really still when you get your epidural, because you get paralyzed. Low-key starting to get like stressed out, and like just like things were not going my way, and I was getting stressed out, and I was scared, and I was just like, oh my god, like, this is a disaster. Like, this is so bad. Like, so he's there, and I'm getting contractions, and I'm trying to stay still, and the nurse was so helpful for me. She was like, you got this. Like, when a contraction comes, if a contraction comes, you need to be still. Like, you need to be still. She's like, you can do it, just breathe. I was like, okay, and I'm like crying, and I'm holding a pillow, hugging a pillow, and finally he gets the needle in, and then he's like, it's all like, it's in, it's ready. Girl, right as soon as the needle goes in, my water breaks. Literally, I'm like sitting like this, and I just feel like all this pressure, and then boom, my water breaks, and it's like all wet on the bed, and I'm like, oh my god. And I told the nurse, I'm like, oh my god, my water just broke. She's like, it's okay, like, don't move, just stay still. I kid you not, like 2 minutes after my water broke, guys, I needed to push. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, it was literally my water broke, and then I was explaining to her that my water broke, and she was trying to help me, and then I was like, oh my god, I can't, like, I need to push. Like, there was such a pressure for me to, like, this is gonna be like a little bit nasty, but for all my ladies, you know, if you've had a baby, you know what it feels like. Like, when you're ready to push, you feel like you need to poop. So I just felt all that pressure, but in my head, I was like, there's no way that I'm already ready to push. Like, you know what I mean? I was only 5 centimeters dilated. How did I go from 5 to 10? Like, so fast. The nurse calls the doctor, and she's like, okay, let me get her in here. We'll check you, we'll see. And she's like, I need you to lay down. Guys, the contractions were so bad that I could not lay down. Like, if I laid down, they got stronger. And I really, like, I couldn't, guys. Like, I was literally, I feel like I was having an out-of-body experience. Like, I feel like I was watching myself, and I couldn't control my body. Like, my body was in so much pain and stress and discomfort. Then the doctor comes in, and like, she makes me like spread up in my legs. I'm like this, like on the freaking bed, because I don't want to lay down, and they're trying to get me to lay down, but I couldn't. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point, girl. I'm in so much pain. And then the doctor comes in, and she's like looking, and she's like, yep, I see the hair. She's like, you're ready to push. Like, we're ready. You need to push, you need to lay down, and you need to push. And she's like, it's time. And I was like, oh my god, like, fuck. I didn't even put the epidural, gave me the dosage of epidural, and I'm already needing to push. So in my head, I was just like, oh my god, like, this is a disaster. I cannot do this. Like, it's so painful. I just want it to stop. He finally gives me a dosage of epidural, but he's like, it's gonna take about 10 to 15 minutes to kick in. Girl, by that time, what's the use? And I finally managed to lay down, and I'm ready, and I'm about to push. The pain that I was in, guys, was literally crazy. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see, I couldn't hear. Like, I literally felt like I was, I'm not even kidding, I felt like I was dying. Like, I felt like I was about to see heaven's gates open for me. Like, I just couldn't. they were talking to me, but I wasn't, like, I was hearing them, but I wasn't hearing them, you know what I mean? My ears were ringing, my vision was blurry. I was like, how do you say that? Like breathing heavy, like I couldn't breathe. I feel like my anxiety mixed with like everything that was going on, plus the pain, like it was all just too much for me, and I just wanted a break. Every time I would blink, it felt like I was gonna pass out. So then contractions started coming, and slowly but surely I started pushing correctly. Literally probably took about 3 to 4 pushes for him to come out. Finally, baby Santi came, and then we put him on my chest, and yeah, the rest is history, girl. And then after you give birth, they still have to like press down on your stomach to get like everything out, like the placenta and all of like the nasty fluids or whatever that's in your stomach. That shit hurts so bad. So then the epidural kicked in literally after he came out, and then my whole legs were numb for nothing because I had already given birth. That's the crazy story, guys, about my crazy birth story. Shout out to my mom because she literally carried me through that labor, because I don't know how I would have gone through it. Like, I just kept telling her, like, Mom, I cannot do this. Like, I was literally yelling at her. And I was like, Mom, I can't. Like, I fucking can't. Like, I can't do this. And she would just grab me and be like, yes, you can. You have to. Like, you have to. We're right here, right now. You have to do it. You're going to get through it. Just push. And I just remember being like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to.
I feel, why would you say that? Like, you put me in such an uncomfortable situation. Like, you know I'm not happy. You know I tried.
And shout out to the nurses, too, and the doctor, because they were so sweet and patient, and they were really just trying to help me get through it as well. I know sometimes they can be a little mean or rude, like, oh my god, come on, girl, like, let's get it going, girl, like, come on. In my head, I was just so upset and frustrated because I had a vision of what I wanted it to go like because of Mateo's labor and delivery, and it went just totally not that way. But yeah, guys, I did it, and cheers to never having any more kids, because girl, I would not be doing that again. No ma'am. No ma'am. Get somebody else to do it. The fact that some of you girls do that willingly is mind-blowing. I can't wait to make more videos for you guys soon. I can't wait for my life to like get back to normal, you know. Like, I can't wait to be clear to go to the gym, and I can't wait for the weather to get a little bit warmer so I can take Santi and Mateo to the park and, you know, just have more productive days. I was like, I need to hurry up and do it because they're gonna be like, girl, didn't you have a baby like last year by the time that I post the labor and delivery vlog? But yeah, guys, that was my labor and delivery story time / mukbang. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys in my next video, and thank you for watching. Love you guys, be safe, and don't have a baby. Just kidding.